Marketing is about values.
Nike didn't call me and sell me this in a catalog. I bought this swoosh because it's ingrained in my soul.
When you have a product that really resonates with customers, the word of mouth grows like wildfire.
Welcome to the Marketing Max Show. Now, let's dive in.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Max Show. I have David from SaaSpad here today, and I'm really excited to dive into all things SEO with him because I was tweeting out that I was looking for a SEO agency for my software project, agencyreviews.io. And when David DM'd me, I immediately checked out his profile, honestly, before I even read his DM message. And I went to their website and I saw a ton of amazing case studies that I'd never seen from any other SEO agency, particularly the fact that they specialize in SaaS. And I built a SaaS platform, project, business, whatever you want to call it. And so I said, David, before we do anything, I need to get on the phone with you and better understand some of these case studies and ask you questions about why you guys are having so much success before I agree to hire you. So here we are. David, if you could give us a quick background on who you are and the founding story of SaaSpad and what you guys do, we could take it from there.
Hi, nice to meet everybody here. I'm David. I'm 20 years old and I run SaaSpad with my brother. I'm sort of in charge of pretty much everything going around here. So safe to say, I'm happy to share all the secrets. So to begin with, why we've started SaaSpad, we've seen some SEO success. Before I actually even say this, all our lives we've done SEO. And I'm 20, so that's not for a long time. But hey, I've been doing SEO since I started working online. So that's my specialty. So we've tested writing articles for a few projects, and we've noticed, we're kind of good at this. At first, I didn't know what I was doing, but apparently it worked out. So as time went by, I was like, okay, do this, don't do that. So we built a strategy, which we're applying to every client, including Max and everybody else. And we started SaaSpad because we thought, you know what, it worked for us. Why not share our knowledge, get some money for it, of course. But offer a service which we would like to receive. That's the whole story behind SaaSpad. As you've seen, we didn't have to chat I don't know, like 3 times, like, hey, Max, do you like this? Should we do this? Should we do that? Sure. First month was more like, it was a bit chattier. We had to sort some things out, understand each other, but then it all goes with the flow. So that's what I would have liked if I had to look for an agency. So I thought, all right, let's offer this. And we put it into the website. We found each other, and yeah, that's pretty much how it started. You were like, I think, the second client we've had.
Well, I didn't even know that. Now I'm regretful. No, I'm kidding. So I signed on to work with you guys because of these case studies. And we got on the phone, like I said before, and I kind of grilled you on some of these case studies. And then I was like, man, we need to get some of these details, these strategies and tactics out into the world and share with the Marketing Max audience. So walk me through, I think there was one in particular that you wanted to highlight that was kind of similar to the work that you just started doing and will be doing for my project. I think it was the third case study on your website.
Yeah, they're all pretty similar, but I would like to talk in particular about this one. Let me begin with the project itself. So the service, it's an authentication service. So we authenticate luxury goods for people. You get like a Louis Vuitton belt and you're not sure, hey, is this real? Did I buy a fake? Did I spend $1,000 on a fake? So you want to find out how to know if it's real or not. So we put out these guides where we're comparing side by side the real versus fake. And then below the pictures, we're talking about why that's a fake and why that's a real. So that's genuinely the whole SEO tactic we've done here. We're just writing. Thank you. It was just writing, teaching people, because we were young. We were like, hey, we like fashion. We want to make other people aware of this. So this is how people found us, through the guides. They're 100% free to read, and you would Google like how to spot fake Jordan 4s, and luckily there's us on the first position right there. That's all thanks to the SEO thingy. So we've done this we started this in 2019, and then in all honesty, in around 2022, I think we saw a huge is it a down spike? You call it when traffic goes down and everything, whatever.
Sounds
Yeah,
like, yeah.
we lost traffic, so we figured, okay, we've been doing something wrong, and this is the point where we thought of, okay, you know what? Maybe in the future we'll start an SEO agency if this goes well. The whole rethinking of the SEO process. So we looked at the whole thingy, everything we've done, and we've started going through. Sorry, by this point we've had, I think, around 450 real versus fake guides, like for different items, different colors, different whatever.
250, you said?
450
400. Okay, sorry,
different posts.
450. Okay,
They
450.
were not even that. I mean, back in the day, they were long. They're like 2,000 words, and this brings me to my point. So we took a look at them, and they were like super long blog posts with a lot with a lot sorry with a lot of text, and it wasn't something you would really want to read. You know, especially when you're on your phone and you're like you in person next to the seller. They got a shoebox in front of you, and they're like, and you're like, yeah, you know what? Let me read this real quick. You cannot do that. So we've had to adapt to the new style, which, by the way, is related to AI and to ChatGPT and everything. So you know when you're asking ChatGPT a question and it gives you like a short paragraph and then there's like a list with bullet points or like tables. It's super easy to grasp all of that information. So we took a look at that modern age AI, ChatGPT. Everybody's using this. All right, we got to turn this and apply it to our articles. Otherwise, people are just going to use ChatGPT, which in itself is based on stuff it finds on the internet. So ChatGPT will look at my article, would see this boring piece of shit, and then be like, all right, here's the bullet list. You take a look at this. So we're like, no, let's do that ourselves. And we had to go through all of the posts. So that's like 450 posts that had to be completely redesigned. This took I'm not exaggerating. This took 6 months to get done because it was a lot of posts, and you basically had to go through every word of it. So this brings me to the strategy that I recommend everybody would use is just make sure your content is always helpful. Like it's always user first. That's even what Google says in their. They have this core updates page where they keep you updated on every change they make, and they're always saying, please make user first content. Make something you would like to read yourself, whether when you're in a hurry or not even just something that's not wobbling or whatever. Just straight to the point, and that's what we've done. We've cut like the whole 4, 5, 6 paragraphs of introduction, or let's just say we were talking about the Air Jordan 1. Back in the day, an article would be here's what here's how Nike was formed. Here's where the Jordan 1 showed up on the market. This is the history. Nobody cares about that. You if you want to look for the history of the Jordan 1, you're gonna have a different you're gonna search for that separately. If you're here to tell how to spot a fake shoe, you already know what the shoe is. So we cut all of that and we went straight to the point. And that's pretty much what I've done with all the other 6 months of work. That's what I've done for agency reviews and for all the other projects. Sure, there's websites like Wikipedia or Adobe or trustworthy websites that are always ranking number one. That's because they're already how do I say this? They're a known website to show. They're a big company. This is what I'm trying to get. They're a big company. They have a lot of other posts from the past that are ranking number one. So all of this grows their domain rating, right? And when you see an article from Adobe, you're more likely to click on it than on a random website like agency reviews. But that's until you see that Adobe is actually wasting your time with whatever they're talking about, and then agency reviews is actually giving you the answer that you want in a sentence. You don't need to go and scroll through the page. I'm not sure I explained this properly, but the whole
So let me kind of try to summarize it back to you to make sure I understand and
Yeah.
maybe for the audience to kind of get the summary of it. Tell me if this is correct. So you're saying before, if we wanted to rank a blog article on Google, the goal was to kind of make as long of an article as possible and give as much extra context to whatever it is that they're searching for as possible. So to use the example of the Air Force or Air Jordans, the limited edition shoes, if people were to Google how to spot a fake Air Jordan, the article would be, I don't know, 2,000 words, maybe, like
Yeah.
a meaty article, and it wouldn't immediately get into like how to spot a fake. It would be like the history of the Air Jordans and the history of why people create fakes, and then
yeah.
like what the yeah, like, and then what the difference is in price between a fake and a not one is, and then 5 ways to spot a fake, and then 3 ways to, or 3 websites that you trust to not buy fakes on. You're saying that's the old way.
Yeah.
The new way is, 1, maybe 2 paragraphs immediately getting to how to spot a fake with 5 bullet points summarizing or making really clear, easy to read, kind of like goldfish memory. Like, here's
Yeah,
5 ways
exactly.
to, like, boom, 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 check if there's a fake.
Yeah.
So, is it fair to say that like the content that you guys are ranking now for your clients is much shorter? Like, if it used to be, like,
Yeah.
how many characters did it use, or characters or words did it used to be, and like what do you think is like the optimal number now?
That's what I'm thinking. We've had clients before who are asking, all right, I'm giving you this money. How many blog posts are you making? Which, that's a valid question. But then they would ask, how long would they be? Like, how many, I want to know for how many words I'm paying. And what I'm trying to get is, this is the old way of doing SEO. It really doesn't matter anymore. And sure, I'm not going to make like a 2-sentence paragraph and charge you $1,000 for, hell no. I would hate myself for that. um, but it's, all of this, I couldn't even say, even for legit check, I couldn't even say how many words. Maybe they're like 800 now, less. It doesn't even matter. And all of this has become clear to me, first of all, through ChatGPT, that's giving such like super short answers. And then look at how we're consuming social media. Like, short form content is way better nowadays than long videos. Everybody would rather look at a short, and you even see this. I don't know if you've had much experience uploading TikToks or YouTube Shorts, but when I'm posting a YouTube video, that's taking hours to get, because I don't have a huge channel. That's taking hours to get a few hundred views. When I'm posting something on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels now, in the next minute, as I'm refreshing, I can see like plus 50, plus 100, plus 200 views. And that's even for brand new accounts, not just for accounts that have a lot of followers, whatever, because we know followers don't really matter for uh, this kind of stuff. It's just that, as you said, with the goldfish memory, it's not to insult people, but you have to give it, like, you got to put it in their face. That's why, even with because for legit check, it's pretty eye candy when you see it's authentic, fake, and then there's a red bubble saying fake, and a green one saying authentic, and then some pointers showing around where to look. You want to put that as high in the article, like as close to the beginning, instead of a lot of text. So you make people scroll around and then see it. You want to put it in front of their eyes, and it's not the same with just this. It's for everything. Like, if you're looking for an agency's pros, cons, or pricing, you want to see a bullet list. That's what I've done for some of your listicle articles. Would say like the top 5 agencies for, I don't know, design, like interior
Yeah.
design, whatever. And this would be the structure. It'd be like a short introduction, an H2 saying the 5 best agencies for interior design, and then we're going straight into it. 1, the agency's name, and then a picture, like a eye candy picture with a nice background, but with their website on top. So it's like a screenshot with a nice background, and then just a bullet list. Pros, 3 pros. Cons, 3 cons. Pricing, here's the pricing plans they have. Because even with this, you don't want to list 10 pros and 10 cons. I personally wouldn't read that, even if I were looking for an agency. You would do that, I don't know, for like a car or an apartment or like a super important purchase. But for an agency, you want to go straight to the point, see what they offer, and then you're going to get the rest of that information when you actually talk to them. When you shortlist a few agencies and you're getting in touch with them. This is like a preview. It doesn't even have to be that long. So what people, I think, they're getting wrong nowadays is they're not giving people what they want. And it may seem, especially if you're making, I don't know, if you sell dog food and you've got this website where you're reviewing dog food, but on this website you're selling your own brand, right? But you got to make listicle articles where you're promoting, we're like saying the top 5 dog food brands, and you want to include yours. Sure, yours is going to be first, but you're gonna have to add others as well. So to get a featured snippet, which is when you Google something, is that highlighted answer, you're gonna make a sentence anywhere in the article, like saying something like, currently these are the top 5 dog food brands, and there's gonna be you, blah 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 blah. And even though you're promoting others, you gotta do that sacrifice to put your name out there. And not just this, it's with all other stuff. And don't be afraid to give the answer straight up. Because at first, when I was remaking the whole Legicheck SEO, I was like, it's pretty painful cutting down 2.5k words that are written by me years ago. But if people don't want that anymore, you gotta adapt to stay alive, right? So
100%.
just
So one other thing I wanted to touch on in that is, a few minutes ago you said in the example of legit check, pictures that have like a green check and a red X that say like
yeah,
this is the fake and this is the real one. And then you've been talking a lot since then about pictures.
yeah.
How important do you think having an image is, or multiple images, in this kind of new SEO strategy for 2024? Like you're saying, like the old strategy was very much, 2000 words, so much context, lots of kind of sections or chapters
Yeah.
or whatever. The new is really like short intro, bullet points, get to it as quickly as possible. If that is the stuff that's ranking now, I know the old ones, the old strategy with 2000 words and lots of sections, that was featuring a lot of, or typically featured a ton of images as well.
Yeah.
Same thing in the new strategy, or less images or zero images? Like, how do you think about that in this new strategy these days?
In our specific case, we kept the images, especially because it's a very visual industry. You gotta see what a fake looks like and an authentic. Generally, again, back to the point, you don't want to overcrowd stuff that's not useful. So if you think it's useful, like you gotta think twice before uploading an image. You gotta be like, does this actually show something the user wants to see? But generally, yes, don't overstretch, but yes, try to always have images. There was a point even in one of your, or a few of your blog posts, where I've made a definition image. If you ever been on Investopedia, if that's how I pronounce
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
they like, if you want to look up what's an ETF, somewhere in the article there's this picture with a nice background saying ETF equals definition. That's eye candy, and that's sort of useful, and it's nice to add it to have content diversity, to not have just just text, but also a visual thingy. Maybe if you can squeeze a video somewhere in there. What I like to do with videos, especially for the top ranking articles, so first you write them, and then you find out which articles are actually bringing you traffic.
Yeah.
So I would look at a I don't know, top 5, and make a screen recording. For example, if I because I make a lot of how-to guides, right? So if I'm making a guide on how to change a YouTube thumbnail, I would look in Google Search Console, see that, okay, how to change a blah 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 is actually number 1. Like that brings me a lot of traffic. Now I don't have a video for it. I'll make a quick screen record showing people how to change a YouTube thumbnail, and I would embed the video at the top of the blog post,
Mm.
and in the YouTube description, I would obviously link to the blog post. Like I would interlink them.
Hmm.
But this is for diversity. So yes, to answer your question, images definitely yes, but only if it makes sense.
So if I upload a blog, let's say it's like the marketing strategy of Tesla, and I want to rank for the keyword Tesla's marketing strategy. Is it better to have like a summary of all of the different strategies, and then maybe like 5 strategies in a headline, 5 bullet points underneath each of how they do the strategy, with a picture for each strategy with each section? Or is it better to just have like one hero image, or both? Or like, what is the optimal layout that I should be thinking of? And then I'll follow up with a specific question that'll tell you why I'm asking this question.
I think for every section, because I think of every section as a heading level 2. That's like, because they're different case studies. So you're not making from what I understood, you're not trying to make a blog post about just their current strategies, but their past ones as well. So sure, you're gonna place the current strategy first in the blog post, and you're gonna have relevant images, whatever you think they're needed, like I don't know, financial graphics or whatever.
Mhm.
And then that's like the first H2, which I think of as the first post within a post, because you realistically
I see.
you click there for the first part, and then the rest of them are other H2s, which are from the past. So you maybe not here for the current one, but for the one from 2013, 2014, whatever. Depends on how many you're actually gonna make.
Inception. It's like articles within articles that keep people on the page longer. More, you're saying these days with visuals, pictures, and videos, even if it's a simple like Loom recording that you upload to YouTube,
Exactly.
versus 2,000 words walking through tons of extra context that I didn't ask for and I didn't need when I Googled
Yeah.
and searched for
Yeah.
this particular query.
Yeah. I mean, so I think some people would disagree with this whole strategy, because I even see nowadays less and less, but I still see some blog posts that are giving you the whole history of everything. So if I'm in the middle of the road looking at how to change a tire, my car is broken. I really don't want to go through the history of tires. I want to know how to install the jack and whatever. And there are some posts which are still ranking with the, at this point I'm kind of mocking them with the, like, what is a jack stand, what is a tire, what is whatever, that's extra. But there's a lot of blog posts who are giving you so much extra context. But I saw less and less and less in my own Googles for my day-to-day life.
That's interesting. So the reason I'm asking this question is because I'd like to shift the conversation a little bit to programmatic SEO. I know you and I have talked about this a little bit. I just launched my new website for my media business. Growth Daily is my newsletter business, my media business. And I relaunched growthdaily.com to be more of a news site. So before it was literally just a landing page. You can sign up for the newsletter. Now, now we take all of the content that's in the newsletter, the marketing news and the marketing strategies and the marketing tips that we email, 50 to 100,000 people every single day. And we put it on the website for two reasons. One, to use that content for SEO, right?
Yeah.
Like there's currently up until, this new launch, there was only like a 24-hour shelf life to all of this content that we spend tons of time and energy and as a business money to create, right? So we want to give a longer shelf life to it via SEO, but we also, number two, want to give a longer shelf life to it for people to come to the website as a marketing resource. We eventually, in 5 years, 10 years, want growthdaily.com to be, one of the top marketing, education, training, strategy, industry news, like resources, right? Just like industry resources for marketers or CEOs who are trying to learn marketing. And I said, okay, I keep reading on Twitter all about programmatic SEO. And I keep watching these YouTube videos and hearing these podcasts about programmatic SEO, using AI to create, a ton of different articles, trying to rank for like a bunch of different versions of a keyword. And so I did some keyword research literally last week. And I was trying to look for like kind of a cluster, as I'd call it, with Google Ads, because Google Ads is my first love, always. But I tried to look for a keyword cluster using the word marketing, and I learned that there are anywhere between like 100 to 1,000 people every single month Googling brand name marketing strategy. And it's always like the most popular ones, like the ones that have like 1,000 searches a month, are like Tesla marketing strategy, or more popular consumer brands like, Sephora marketing strategy, the makeup retail chain, obviously Apple marketing strategy. But there's still like 150 people or 200 people every single month that Google like Budweiser, like the beer, like Budweiser marketing strategy. I have no idea who these people are. I've given it some thought in the last week, and I'm like, maybe it's marketing, like business school students that are learning marketing. Maybe it's competitors of Budweiser. Maybe it's people just trying to learn. Maybe it's people who like Budweiser who want to know how they grew, whatever. I don't care. I was like, maybe I can use AI to spit out 500 blog articles that I can give it, right? I can give it like 500 keywords to go after: Budweiser marketing strategy, Coca-Cola marketing strategy, Apple marketing strategy, Tesla marketing strategy. And I can have it spit out 500 blog articles that I upload, automatically 5 every single day. Cause I know you don't want to upload 500 at once and then have Google get 500. But like if I was to create, 500, load them into Airtable, create an automation using Zapier or using Airtable to automatically publish 5 every single day. Number one, what do you think of that strategy? And then number two, what would the layout be, the template be that I give ChatGPT or Claude, or I've been looking at a couple other tools like OpenWord or Byword or Cuppa, CUPPA. I've been checking out which one creates the best. what's the template that I should give them given that strategy? That's the second question. The first is like, what do you think of that? Do you think that's just a terrible, shitty idea? And then what do you think, if you like that idea, what would the template be? How many characters should I say? You said paragraph before with bullet points. How many pictures should there be? Like, walk me through that, because I'm really fascinated with programmatic SEO and using AI to just kind of like, over the course of 100 days, publish 500 articles. And if every article gets, 100 clicks a month, or gets 50 clicks a month times 500, like that's 5,000 site visits.
Yeah,
That's great.
which is good, super good.
Great. Super good.
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword with AI in general. I remember. I'll break this into smaller questions. So first, I remember when ChatGPT was the wave. I think it was like 2022 to 2023, whatever. And there was this Google update where they're like, "No, we're so against AI content," and then they couldn't combat this because AI was going to be the future, right? And so they've accepted the idea, and then they've added a new update saying, "All right, we tolerate AI content, but only if it makes sense." So this brings me again back to the first big thing I said, which is do not bore your users and only use AI when it makes sense. And you'll notice if you use ChatGPT, there's a common pattern where if you give it a huge topic like how do I learn, how do I um, create a marketing strategy, or a really broad topic, and it is going to give you the same answer for any question that sounds like this. So first is going to be like define your proposition, know your audience, and there's a list of 10 points which people who've used ChatGPT before would instantly recognize and be like, all right, this is not really useful. So you don't want to copy paste all of this because it's always the same answer. For whatever the question is, it's not really tailored to like if you're asking ChatGPT, how do I get into, I don't know, design, and how do I create a marketing strategy? It's always going to be know what you want. Look
It's
for
gonna
the
be
right
like
people.
101. It's gonna be like
It's
kindergarten for marketing.
exactly.
Super
So you
basic.
don't want to have a bunch of blog posts that are all talking about the same thing, but just wrapped differently. And then another huge point is unique content related to programmatic SEO. It's good for some pages, but not from my experience, not for every page on our website. So part of why our website was dumped, Legit Check, back then was because we've had some duplicated content. So there were a lot of posts that had the same sentences or super similar, just like changed like a paragraph break or whatever. So you really want to avoid that. That is part of why we came back, because we went through every article and then we wrote new words for every article. We had to rephrase everything. So, but it depends. If you want to rank like we wanted to always be number one for whatever, sure. For stuff like that's super niche, for example, take a look at Veed. If you know Veed.io, the
Yep.
video editor, they've got a huge SEO portfolio to say. So they've got the basic stuff like how to add subtitles to my video, how to translate my video, how to add music to video, blah blah blah. But then they got the niche, the long, super long tail keywords that are most likely programmatic. They're for the video translator and the subtitle, the tool that adds subtitles to your videos. They're translate video from English to Japanese, to German, to French, to Romanian, to all the languages, even to, I don't know, even to Romanian. Uh, that's not something you would focus on first. You first want to focus on the languages that converse the converse the most, right? So that would be, I don't know, probably um, French, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and then long tail, Serbian, Polish, and other, I don't know, depends on the niche. But what I'm saying is for Legitech, I would translate into, because we did this recently, we've translated the website. I would translate because for us apparently Russian is like the number one language, but for example Russian and Italian. But for Vid, maybe let's just say hypothetically, because I don't know their situation, but if those two were not so, wouldn't have a great conversion rate, you would do them last. But they did it because they've extended so much. So I would do programmatic SEO for pages like this, that or a situation where we have programmatic SEO and just a few words changed per page. are the authentication service pages for lady checks. So
Mhm.
let me break this down. We have the guides; those are free to read. But then there's the paid service. That's how we make money off the app. When people they're looking at the guide and they're like, you know what, this is kind of tough. I'm not sure I can do this alone. So let's pay the experts to do it, which is
Mhm.
when they get to the authentication service pages. So you would read the Nike Air Force One guide. You'll be like, all right, this is kind of hard. And you go to the Nike authentication service. And that page is the exact same page for Nike, Puma, New Balance, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Dior. This is the exact
Yeah.
same page,
Same.
exact same layout, same design, just different brand name and a few sentences changed throughout.
Google wouldn't like that.
Yeah, but these pages are not entirely, I mean, we obviously want to rank them, but they're not, because they're not, we didn't deploy so much effort into them. They're not, they're all the
Low
same,
volume. Low
because
volume.
people would visit these pages anyway through the guides. They would find us through the guides, and from there they'll go to this page, which needs to look trustworthy. And we don't want to spend the same amount of time we spend on the blog post for the authentication service pages. So they go through Google, they find the guide, which is, there's, you can see there's a lot of effort put into it. And then they go to the authentication service, which looks good, but because it was a template, we could spend maybe 2 hours or 3 hours at a time to make a really nice page and then apply it to all the other brands, because all the other good reputation points come from the blog posts alone. So this is
Mhm.
what I would do programmatic SEO. Now it depends on everybody on their use case, but
What do you think of my use case? The Tesla marketing strategy, Budweiser marketing strategy. What do you think about that?
I think because everybody's marketing strategy is different. You cannot compare Dropbox's marketing strategy to that of Costco. Yeah, they're two completely different brands, so they're gonna have different approaches. You could make a programmatic. No, never mind. You could make a
Isn't that
design.
a good thing though? Because essentially what we're saying is like AI is going to spit out
Yeah.
like the
So
unique, because you're saying it has to be unique if you're going to use AI. You're saying like it has
not
to be
only.
unique. So AI will spit out the unique marketing strategy of Sephora, the unique marketing strategy of
Yeah,
Costco, the
yeah.
unique marketing strategy
So
with case studies. I can say, give an example of a marketing strategy that or a marketing campaign that they launched. So it's very, very, very unique.
so assuming you're not gonna copy paste the same thing and just change the brand's name, that is good. You could use,
Okay.
it's not programmatic, but you could use a page template. So you could have the same layout for every page, but every brand strategy has to be unique. You cannot say the same thing for all of them.
Yeah, I
So
wouldn't. I would have AI give like specific answers to
then
like,
that's
here are
great.
three marketing
That's great.
strategies Costco had. Here are three marketing strategies Budweiser had.
Yeah. No, that is great. That is good.
Okay.
And it is a good idea that you're going to extend into all these brands. And you said it's growth daily, so it could be you're not stuck to just agencies or just to a niche. You could use any company. You could use Costco and Dropbox in the same
Yeah.
website, because people are
Yeah.
coming here for the growth strategy, not for the brand or for the niche. So you could do everything basically. There's no roof. You could go. There's no ceiling. You could go up.
Yeah. I could say SaaS pads, your agency's marketing strategy, and I could have AI try to find whatever you guys use to get clients. Okay. So I'm glad that you like my particular keyword cluster and strategy in terms of using a programmatic SEO strategy or just an AI powered SEO strategy. Before we kind of wrap up here, I have this like question, and I kind of already know your answer, but
Hmm.
I just want to hear it. Like, is it even worth me spending so much time and energy and money trying to build Growth Daily? I think it has like a 25 domain rating now. The goal would obviously to be get it 70 plus, 80 plus. It's going to take a couple of years at the very least, right? It's going to take 5 years. Is it worth me spending all this time, energy, and money when Google is clearly going to introduce AI answers? And a bunch of people, my friends that I know, a lot of friends, and my friends are the early adopters, but my friends are starting to use ChatGPT as Google in a lot of places. Like, it's even worth investing so much into SEO. Like, genuinely, like a question that I am considering, like, man, should I even spend all this time, energy, and money to make Growth Daily rank for a bunch of keywords and get it up to a 70 or 80? Like, is that worth it given the change that's about to happen that we don't really know?
If you thought the answer was gonna be no, it's not worth it, you're completely wrong. I think
No,
you should.
I figured you running a SaaS, SEO agency or an SEO agency for SaaS business. I figured you would say absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Hear your take on it.
yeah, no, definitely. And even if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna learn so much along the way. So I think it is worth. I don't think Google's Gemini, whatever their AI search, whatever thingy search engine is gonna be called, I don't think it's gonna take over. Bless you.
Thank you.
So
You don't think it's going to take over?
no, no, no. So have a look at this. We're not ranking. Back in the day, we used to rank. We used to have a mode for Check. All of our posts were either number one or at most number two on Google. Now, not so much because Google has split the pie. They don't really let you have a mode anymore. Not even for Wikipedia. You've noticed that when you're looking for.
I've noticed that. Yeah, Wikipedia is like now number 3 or 4 in a lot of searches.
Yeah.
Instead of always number 1.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and on the other hand, Microsoft Bing uses AI. So when you're searching something, they have this AI called Copilot, and that AI is giving you. So if this is the page, these are the results, and on the right there's the AI, and the AI itself gives information based on the website. So it's like a summarizer of what you're finding on the other pages. And I hope Google's is gonna be the same instead of just taking all the credit. So this is what I'm saying. Bing would cite all the sources, and furthermore it would even rank you a couple of times on the same page. For legit check, anybody could, if they want to look into this, they could do this home and have a compare Google against Bing, and you see Bing loves our website. We still have a moat there. Every page is number one.
Wow.
Even more. So there would be the feature snippet, and then there would be the FAQs. All 3 out of 3 FAQs would be ours. The feature snippet would be ours, and then besides all of these, there will be our videos, our Pinterest, our Reddit posts, and then in some cases there would even be like the next related blog post. That's how much they love us. I don't know why, but I love Bing for this. um, so I'm thinking
Bing.
it sounds biased now that I say this, that I think Google should be like this, but it just makes sense because instead of just being like ChatGPT but a search engine without citing all the sources, because at the end of the day, learning is based on learning what already exists, based on already what exists, right? And it would be so smart if like I wouldn't be against, and I wouldn't say that AI is gonna take over, because if it's the way Bing does it, that's making me happy, is making people happy, is making Bing happy because people are using Bing now. So I don't think that would be a danger anytime soon.
Interesting. So you're basically saying the way Bing does it is better.
Yeah.
You want Google to adapt it. You think it makes sense, but what if Google doesn't adapt it?
Well, fuck me. Well, if they don't do it, I guess because more people are using Google than Bing, right? So we're gonna do whatever it takes to adapt to Google, because most of our traffic, like sure, Bing drives some traffic, but most of it, like over 70% of it, is still from Google. So
Yeah.
you gotta do whatever the king wants, I guess. Gotta please him.
Yeah. My 2 cents for what it's worth is you're obviously, you know way more about this than I do. You spend way more time in the SERPs than I do. But my 2 cents is, SEO in general is a multi tens of billions of dollar industry. Google is not just going to wake up, but that Google basically invented, and they're not going to wake up and just kill that whole industry. They're just not going to. And still 80%, 90% of all of Google's profit comes from ads. And, you have to have multiple listings in any sort of search query, like outcome, in order to be able to show multiple ads.
Yeah.
And so I think there will always be some sort of SERP. There will always be some sort of like list of
Options.
things, of options. Thank you. A good, better word. There will always be a list of options. Those list of options might be AI generated. And so maybe Google will use AI to find, the 5 or 10 best, instead of having all those O's at the bottom of all the different pages that you can go to, so maybe it'll just be like one page. But yeah, I don't think they're going to wake up and kill it. And every time I speak with an SEO expert, they're like, we don't know. We'll figure it out. I hope they figure it out. I don't think they'll kill it overnight.
Yeah.
David, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and giving us what I think is really like the 2024 SEO strategy, right? Taking really long 2,000 plus word articles that have way too much context about nothing that you're searching with or for, and shrinking those down into more relatable, much shorter but much more tangible things that help quicker, get you to the answer that you're really looking for quicker, with tables, with bullet points, with videos. I love the screen share idea that you shared. And then also for giving us some advice on the programmatic SEO stuff, making sure that just all the content is unique is really the key there. So, David, where can people find you if they want to pick your brain more about SEO or work with you guys, or just want to say what's up? Where can they find you? What's the best place to get in touch?
Website saaspad.co, SAASPAD.co, chdavid.com, whatever, people are gonna find me.
Cool. We'll link to all of that below. David, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Hopefully this
Thank
is
you
not
for
the
having
last
me,
one,
and
we'll have you back
I'll
on
see you
later.
in the newsletter. Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Max show. It takes me and my team hours to produce it every single week, but it only takes you 15 seconds to hit that share button and text it to a friend, drop it in a Slack group, or share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any of your favorite social platforms. I appreciate you taking the time to check out my content. Have an awesome day.